So if we can possibly do the usual injury check, maybe it's easier to ask you what fit central defenders you've got at this point.
Phil and Betty being on the trip. Ryan Tafazoli won't. Jamie Knight-LaBelle won't. He's got to have a scan. His back's very sore, so we've got to have him looked at. James Ball will be in. Will Wright isn't. So that leaves Billy Kirkman, yes. Ollie Clark, yes. So that's it.
So some good news on James Ball, at least. So what's the sort of situation there?
Yeah, his scan was all clear, so that's good. Absolutely good. Cost us £500 to see there was nothing there. So good job there was nothing there.
New contract for Aaron Drinan. How quickly has that sort of come about, and how pleased are you to have him tied down?
It's not very often you get offered £400,000 for someone, and that's how you should behave as a club. If you turn something down, you should reward them. We tried to do that with Harry. Harry got injured the day after, so after turning down that contract. So Aaron's said some wonderful things in the press, delighted he did, and we've carried out the promise, you know. So whatever anybody else tries, whether they really wanted him, whether they didn't, I would suggest that we've come out on top there. We've got him signed on for even longer than we had him. He'll be delighted that his play this year has earned him a better contract. And I'm delighted the chairman agreed to do it that way without me even having to badger him at all. So wonderful. And owners end up having to spend more money on what they wanted all the time, and he don't mind providing the kids playing as well as he is. So wow, great news all round.
What's the sort of biggest development do you think you've seen in this game while you've been here?
His understanding of when to run. We've always known he can run fast, but the timing of his runs, the understanding that he's gaining, his mind is working quicker than it was before, and he's doing one thing to do that, to set that to go there, and he's making things. The goal the other day where Billy Kirkman did really well, so did Joel McGregor, but Aaron came off. Billy played him the ball, he played it back to Joel and then spun, and then Billy followed his pass, so Joel played it to Billy. What Drinan did after that and then scored was outstanding, and he built that move himself in his mind. He knew if he come down, he knew if he laid it, he knew where he was going to lay it. He was already 4 or 5 passes ahead of the defender behind him. So that's what I've been talking to him about. That's where I'm used to managing. That's where I'm used to being. People who can put 3 or 4 or 5 things together before it's even happened. Their mind is already doing that, and I've got so many good players. So Aaron's improvement in that has been completely off the planet, and that's why I believe he can play. There's no level he can't get to, and I've convinced him that he should stay with us because he's enjoying it. The people love him, and we're going to be a really good team who's going to get him some passes. And I'd like to believe that when he saw Junior's pass the other day and how Junior played that through to him twice, he'll understand that I'm not lying to him. So my job is to continue to get players of that quality. He will shine. They'll all have different skill sets, but I think he trusts what we're bringing in here to make him stand out. And why else would you want to be anywhere else if you're enjoying your football so much and your family's settled and your family's happy, and you know, and because I try and involve all of them. Last time I saw his wife and the little one out here, I asked her what it's like to have him at home at the minute, and she said it's wonderful because he's really enjoying his football. So it's what it's all about, you know, and it's trying to create something that people take home. It's great at home, and then they bring it back, and then they're sharing it out, and all the pressure that they'll be under to have to get these results, they don't notice because they're enjoying themselves. So obviously Aaron deserves that, and if anybody else wants to come and see me, well, I haven't turned down 400 grand for you, so get out of it, go and do what you want, you know. And the times I've seen this with other players, the times I bought Barry Ells, and we turned down 1.6 million, and I gave him a new deal. And first thing I said to everyone else, when I turned down 1.6 million for you, and he's told their manager to go and do one, and it was our big rivals, Bristol City. No, don't want to play for you. I want to play for Ollie. Oh, it was a joy. So everybody understands, you know, and that's a big step for us again. Anybody who's out of contract, you better help get us up, because we'll take care of that then. And that's the facts. That's where we are.
And one last one. How often do you sort of see a player, I guess, kind of gain that extra footballing intelligence, or however you describe it, in the middle of his career where he is?
It don't matter when they grasp it. It's about what they're being taught and where they've come from and what habits they get in. It's more habit, and I'm annoyed at the moment because we can't get on the grass. I really want my team aren't playing as well as I want them to, because we haven't shown them the habits I want them to have. So when it goes back to our goalie, our build, as we call it, is erratic at the moment. 1 minute we're going long, 1 minute we're doing this, 1 minute, because we need more practice. Because the new people, there's totally different people in that back line all the time. And, you know, Jake Batty haven't had a chance to really train with us, so I'm not making excuses. This is how it is. And with the injuries that are cropping up left, right, centre, you know, and also the change of the senior ones, it's not easy doing my job at the minute. And then the coordination of the people up front when we haven't got the ball, that let Newport grow. That let Harrogate grow in confidence. So the more that happens, the harder it is for you then when that team around you, and if we don't win it back like we can do, because of the coordination and cooperation, if that's changed a little bit and we've lost Glatzel, whose pressing was outstanding, you know, and I got to make sure that I have enough on the bench that I bring on, and it changes something, because you're not always going to be in front. What you're going to do about it, and I feel now, when I do make changes, we can make a difference. Do you get what I mean? I think Holman's proved that, and you could argue he should be playing. I played him at Notts County, we lost, because I didn't have that impetus when I changed it, you know. So it's all about getting that balance right. The starters and then the finishers, and if you can get the finishing right, you should win enough games. We've still got a huge margin of error to be totally successful. So, you know, we've got to think about ourselves, worry about ourselves. We're in such a great place compared to this time last year. Obviously, Drinan and Gav Kilkenny have seen it that way, and they want to stay. So, the end of last year, I couldn't get Harry, you know, he was out of contract. We offered him one in the summer. He didn't take it. Will Wright didn't take it. So I think we look an awful lot better these days. So, and I want to be in the next division above, and I got to get a squad that is good enough to do that. I still don't know if we've got that till the end. I'm pretty confident, but you never know what's going to happen in these games. You find out about yourself in times like this. But the club's moving forward, in my opinion. Massively. The feel of it, everything about it, it's moving forward. I just wish we had a bigger crowd.
I was going to ask you a little bit about the sort of starting lineup and the substitutes. How much as a manager now are you kind of going into things with a sort of 18-man game plan, if you see what I mean?
Every one of them. Every one of them. And what I got to do is make it as easy as I can to get to them when they've got the ball, and because I believe we're good enough individually, if we can get the ball out wide and higher up, I think we'll score. And that's the big difference. I listened to their manager the other night giving it all sorts about we were the best team. I'm sorry, son. Right? I'm sorry. Best at what? Playing some nice passes in an area that don't get you anything. You didn't have a threat when you went up our end. You're asking for a penalty that I still don't know whether it was or not. And your players are still moaning about that when you're picking the ball out of your net the other end, where we hit 2 passes in that move, bang, from Junior right over the top. And then what Fletch did with that was amazing. So how are you the best team? Honestly, how are you the best team? That's 2 or 3 I've heard say that now. Best at what? You know? The best at what? It's about winning. And you've got to find a way to win. And I want to pass, I want to do this, but you've got to win. And if your forwards can't put the ball in the net on a regular basis, then you ain't no good. And I'm trying to stack and rack my forwards left, right and centre, because I think that's top end of the pitch is where it really truly matters. Yes, you can keep clean sheets, but how difficult is it when 75% of goals come from set plays? You know, and this division is, they're just monsters everywhere. Huge. So we've got to be able to deal with all of that as well and get the ball down and play. And you can say whatever you want about it, but what's the score? Seriously, what makes you the better team? Normally putting the ball in the net. That's what makes you the better team. You can have some nice passing moves, but there we go.
And last one, it sounded like on Tuesday Shrewsbury were pretty good at giving Barrow problems, kind of long throws, crosses and set pieces. So is that the sort of game you expect?
Absolutely. They gave us a game and a half out here, didn't they? Do you know what I mean? We scored probably one of the best goals we've scored all season, and then they equalised from a set play, and the game was in the balance until we scored the winner. I think it was Billy Bowden. Brit genius. He went away from it. He got come back. Gav did brilliantly in midfield. He ran with it. He played the right pass, and then Bill just smacked it in the bottom corner with his left foot. I thought their goalie should have saved it, but because Bill hit it so early, he knew what he was already doing. Keeper couldn't get down to it, and that got us the game. That was a big win for us, because our season could have flipped the other way then. That was a big win. So how close was that? How tight was that? And this is what it's like, you know. When have we run away with anything, and when does anybody run away with anything in the second division? And when they do, they can be cool, because everybody's chasing the quality of the league. The difference is there's hardly a team that hasn't got some really good players, and on their day they might beat you. There's hardly a team. Whereas the higher you go up, the bigger backing they've got of good players, and that you can still be the best team and lose. Stats wise, shots at goal, shots on target, shots, yeah, that's what you got to look at. Ain't no good being the best team in areas that don't count. Both boxes. Do you know what I mean? You got to have the stats right in both boxes. Not how you get there. This is Pep's brought this in. It's not how you get there. It's what you do when you're there. How many crosses, how many things, how many pins, and that's why Bromley are the best at the minute. Because they pin you in more than everybody else. They get more and more crosses in there. They get more numbers there. They get there, and they deal with their own box really well. Right, so well done to them, and we're trying to catch them. So they are the leaders in all of it. Andy deserves a medal the size of a, but as he said to me, I'll take any one of the top three, and so would you. That's what he said to me the other week. But well done to him. What he's doing is outstanding. And you can argue with it. It's not about that. It's about being the best team. Who's the best team in the league by a mile? They're more consistent in doing it than anybody else, and it's Bromley at the minute. Well done to them. So we're trying to catch up to that. We've got enough games left to actually do that, and what I've got to do is make sure my group, as a group, know what we're doing when we get in certain areas. Who's pressing who's closing there. We had far too many people on the back line the other evening than up where they were trying to play. We had 5 marking 3. I've watched it back. Absolutely. You know, and today we can't get anywhere to train because the weather's so bad. So I'm going to have to show them a video. It'll be a video hell for them. But I'll be able to get, what are we doing? Where are you going? Why aren't you doing that there? And hopefully they'll get an understanding of that, and then we'll move on. Because we've got to get our team structure, what we're doing to get the ball where we want it to be, better. And then when we lose it, what we're doing to win it back, better. Because some of the individual bits and pieces have been excellent. That's why we won the games. We've won 4 in a row. I'm not moaning, but we're not cohesive as we need to be. And I'm not putting up with it. We've got to keep going. Keep going. Keep going. And 4 in a row ain't good enough. We're going to need 8, 9, 10 in a row. And then we might have a real chance of the feeling that we've got here. We've done nothing yet. Absolutely zero. Any one of these games is a massive banana skin. Any one of them. but let's get it. Let's have a go. Let's keep going. And I'm glad I feel like I feel, because you're hearing the real me now.
Good night. Thank you very much.
Have you had any more updates on Ryan Tafazoli and where he is after the other night?
Yeah, the update is his calf is still sore, so he won't be being used. And I spoke to him before the game about this. Are you sure I don't need to rest you? And because it's Saturday, Wednesday. Saturday might have been all right, but Saturday, Wednesday, he said he was fine. He said he didn't feel it, and then he looked all embarrassed when he had to come off. But I'm not blaming him. It is what it is. And I know my job so well, I should have not listened to him and should have left him out. Because he's going to be vital, winning his big headers. Smash! He gives everybody the confidence around him. His organisation skills are outstanding. He's got a great left foot. And he scores from set plays. And he's a winner. So I should have said, don't worry, stay there. It's my fault, not him.
Michael Olakipe missed out through illness. How is he getting on?
I'm told he feels a lot better, and my wife has got exactly what he had by the sound of it, because her voice is completely going on there, and she can't speak. So, good job I got a screen I can sign to her. We'll be all right. Yeah, he's back in the squad. You know, obviously what his mum cooked him as work to treat. Getting some great advice this year, I tell you, with Finley, Mum Rose, Nan, and Michael's mum. Wonderful. I better get the recipe. It might be good for you if you get ill, Joe.
That'd be very helpful, thanks.
I'm waiting on that wet bus stop the other day when I had me little smart and I didn't have room for you. I felt embarrassed by that. Could have shoved him in the boot, couldn't I?
That's definitely fair. And Fletcher Holman obviously probably wants to start games, but has he made himself almost too useful as an impact sub at the moment?
Possibly, but I can play him anywhere I want. That's the great thing about him. He can play on the left, he can play right wing back. His football knowledge, his understanding, his picking up of information of how to press someone, where to go, what to do, is sensational. Absolutely sensational. So as long as he comes on and makes a difference in the way that he does, left foot or right foot, his running, everything about him, his pressing, his closing, he can win a header, he can hold people off. I'm delighted we've got him. I'm really excited about my front line. I think we missed Michael the other evening, to be honest with you, because when we do get it and get it wide, we were in that eye left area right in the first couple of minutes, and I got a right footer in there. It's not exactly right at times, but you know. So I heard a fan say, "Oh, what would have happened if Finn would have been there?" Well, Finn ain't gonna be here, is he? So we got to move on. But with Michael, he can. You know, everybody needs that one you can roll it to, and then he just keeps it for 10 minutes and twists somebody in a knot and gets a great cross in. It's exciting, isn't it? So I'm delighted to have him back. No one's asked me about Junior. I think he's okay. I think he's all right. That was just when your calves, when you get older, your calves play up, right? There's somewhat called a soleus, which is a deep muscle in this, a balancing one, and sometimes they play up like you won't believe when you're getting older. I don't really want to talk about mine. That's why I can't run anymore. So I got to manage their minutes, and with the ground as wet as it is, I got to manage their minutes. But today will be a video session rather than a running grass session, and it'll be a video and then movement in a room as big as this, and I'll be moving them around saying you should be going here. So I'm trying to connect them up to what I want. That's what's wrong with us. That's why we're not looking as cohesive as we need to be. But we'll get there. I got no problem. I got brilliant players, absolutely. If you want to be a great coach, get great players. You want to be a brilliant coach, get brilliant players. I got brilliant players. It's nothing to do with me. I just got brilliant players. So well done, boys. Let's get out there and go and do it again.
Okay. We mentioned, Bill, we were talking about the previous Shrewsbury game. We were talking about it being days away the last time we spoke about it.
Yeah.
Is that still the case?
Yeah, he's much closer than he would have been if he wasn't as experienced as he is, because he'd have had a hamstring tear without a shadow of a doubt. So it'll be within a few days rather than weeks for Bill, and with his knowledge of where to go and how to play and who else we've got now, we'll be finding him. linking things, and that's what I wanted from him. He's been frustrated. I haven't played him enough, but it's all about the running. And now I've got the people that we've got who I believe will be able to find him. Because he finds pockets, he finds little areas, he gets onto things, and then we've got runners around him, and he's going to be vital by the end of the season, I can guarantee you. Because when it comes to it, I know he can produce. He's always done it, and he always will, right? And it's just getting him ready at the right time.
Tough little patch run, isn't it? Out of contract in the summer, another one that's out.
Yeah, it's tough for all of them. I'm going to be out of contract in my head, because if I don't get us up, I've failed. Fact. And that's what it's about. How good a job am I doing here? And if you're doing well enough, you'll get a contract. We got to get promoted. I'm not taking the Colchester managers' take on it all. Oh, isn't it great? Isn't it a bit of fun? It's not fun. We want to get up, and I'm saying it. I want to get up, and if I don't get up, I've failed. And I haven't got the top budget in a million years. It doesn't matter. I don't make excuses. Mine's all about getting my players to believe in themselves. That's my job, to be as good as I believe we should be to try and get up. And it's all about encouragement. Hopefully we'll get that right, because I don't let them make excuses. Oh, we were the better team when you missed from 8 yards. You missed the whole target from 8 yards. That ain't the best team, is it? You spew it wide. You know what I mean? Ain't the best team if it's crossed in and you can't clear it and you boot it in your own net. How are you the best team? Stop talking nonsense. Let's get on with it. Do you get what I mean? Things might go against you, but that don't mean you're the best team, does it? What we got to be is as good as we can possibly be, not compared to anyone else, and try and get enough results to get enough points to get out of this division. It's horrendous being in this division. We need to get up. We need to get bigger gates. We need to get a bigger crowd. We need to get bigger teams coming here. Honestly, that's what we need. And the rest of it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Cup runs, whatever it is, doesn't matter. We need to get up the EFL.
Do you sit there and say, I reckon this many points will get us there?
Yeah. It's a
You
fact.
have a number in your head. I know obviously
No, it's a fact. You go on last year, it's a fact. You go on how many wins they had and how many wins the others had. And what you have to do is think, well, this year might be slightly different, but that's your targets. We're already on target, well on target to beat what I asked them to do at the start of the season. But we haven't done it yet. You know, it's a shame you can't splice the end of last year into this year. We'd have already been up by now, but we got to carry on and we got to do it. And really, Walsall, the way they run, the way they are, for them to fall away like they did last year, oh my God, that's a warning to everybody. No one's done anything yet. And with all these games coming up, we're all having to play ourselves. We've got MK Dons here, we got Grimsby, everybody's having a good, we got Cambridge, we got, oh, wow. But what I do know, we've taken 6 points off the last team we played, 6 points off the team we played before, 6 points off the team we played before, 6 points off the team we played before. We got 3 off of Bromley this year. We only got 1 last year. We got none off of Salford, but we got 1 last year. So we're 1 point down, but we made up on all the others. So we beat Harrogate away, which we didn't last year. So I see things going the right way. It's all about the rest of it, and this is all talk. I hate talk. We have to get going, and we got another game with hardly any training tomorrow, and then we land back here, and then we got a travel up to Barnet, who beat us here 2-0, so we can't let them take 6 points off of us. They're easily good enough to, but we can't let that happen, so we got a hell of a challenge on. But let's get on back to Shrewsbury first. We managed to beat them 2-1. They give a good account of themselves. I think they lost, that was 5 in a row they'd lost that day. They didn't deserve that. But they got a change of management. Yeah, whoever's... I have no idea. All I'm concerned about is how my team's functioning, what I need to do with them, and how I'm going to have to do it today. And if that changes, if it doesn't matter. I've still got amazing quality. Right? Completely amazing quality of player and person. And that's what you need. the quality of the person is more important than the quality of the player. The skill and the will, that's what you need. And it's more will now that I've got to get in a union, a workforce of cooperation everywhere. When we haven't got it, when we have got it, where are we? When it goes back to our goalie, how are we building? What are we doing? And that's really difficult when you don't know how the other team are going to play because they got so many new ones. And we've had that twice. So, and they've got someone else taking their team. So the rest of it, it's a wonderfully exciting run-in. And we're in a fantastic position but I have no idea who's going to make the sprint for that line. 3 teams can get over. And as I said the other week, Bradford limped over. And now look at them. All their fans come back. All of them. They were always there anyway because they get cheaper season tickets than anyone else. But wow, when you're moaning, that's a hell of a bad voice to listen to. When you're excited that you've got promoted, that's why they are where they are. And I hope that happens to us. And I hope it happens way before I hope that terrifies whoever we've got here. I hope that frightens MK Dons to death. Because that's what Chesterfield, when we scored against them, that's what their crowd did to us. So whatever they've done, but they've had success the last 3 years. I don't blame any of our lads, any of our people, any of them for moaning after the 15 years that we've had here. I'm trying to change that. We've done absolutely nothing yet. Nothing.
Last one. Is the timeline on Tom Wilson-Brown? Have you got any further with that?
No. He's gone back to Leicester. They're going to take over whatever happens to him. And because of he's had this before, they're obviously checking it, you know. And his growing rate, he's huge. I don't even think he's finished growing yet, you know. So just wish him all the best and we'll find out. I have no idea.